Good morning, everyone. It's Lou here, and I'm just going to share with us today, just like Phil did last week. We're going to share this around the pastoral team and just share some thoughts and reflections on what God's been, I suppose, speaking to us about. One of the things God's been speaking to me about is His love, and not only His love for me, but my love for Him. I suppose in my role, where I'm running lots of different ministries and things are on the go very busily, there's lots of things to do. Sometimes you can get caught up in the doing, and God's been really teaching me about stopping and just expressing my love to Him. It's kind of apt that we've got a little heart up on the wall, actually. So can I share with you, I've been reading this book. It's by Henry Nouwen, and Henry was a guy that was a priest, but then also became an academic and shared in places like Yale and Harvard, and was very well received, I suppose. And he felt like his relationship with God had gotten a bit dry and stagnant, and all his accomplishments weren't bringing him any closer to God. And so he was asking God about it, and God challenged him and actually told him to move somewhere. He moved to a place which was a home for mentally handicapped people, and he lived there and lived that community life. And through that time there, God has taught him a lot about what being a Christian means and what leadership means. So one of the things that Henry talks about in his book is the verses John 21:15-17, and it's the time where Jesus appears to his disciples and he's having breakfast with them, and he asks Peter those questions. He says to Peter, "Do you love me?" And Peter says yes, and then Jesus asks him again, "Peter, do you love me?" And he asks him 3 times, and God, Jesus tells him to feed his sheep and to look after people. But that question of "do you love me" is something that's been hanging around in my heart for a little while. So I just want to share a little bit about what it says. It says here, "Look at Jesus. The world did not pay attention to him. He was crucified and put away. His message of love was rejected by a world in search of power and efficiency and control. But there he was, appearing with wounds in his glorified body to a few friends who had eyes to see and ears to hear and hearts to understand. This rejected, unknown, wounded Jesus simply asked, 'Do you love me? Do you really love me?' He whose concern had been to announce the unconditional love of God had only one question to ask: do you love me? The question is not how many people take you seriously, how much are you going to accomplish, can you show results, but are you in love with Jesus?" And this has been something that I've been thinking through and journaling and praying about. And even in my discipleship group the other day, one of the verses that stood out to me, I read this in the Passion Translation. It says here, this is Philippians 3 verse 10. "I continually long to know the wonders of Jesus more fully and to experience the overflowing power of his resurrection working in me." I just have this growing desire just to get to know Jesus more, to love him more, and in return to receive his love for me so that I can share that with other people. I'm not perfect at this at all, but it's something that God has been talking to me about, and I wanted to encourage you to do the same, to be spending time with him, to be soaking in his love, so that through this time we can be also giving it out. I just want to encourage you today to be thinking through that. Can I also encourage you, maybe you could share in the comments below, what is a way that you connect with God? What is a way that you feel you can stop and receive his love? Maybe you could share the ways that you stay connected with God and share them in the comments below, so that we can encourage one another and maybe even gain a couple of ideas of things that we can do to stay connected to him and receive his love, and therefore give it out through these times. Bless you today. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks.